Okay, there we go. Hey, Mofi.
All right. All right. Are we live live?
Yeah, we're actually live. We've been live this whole time,
Nice.
but I stopped the
Okay.
recording
Good.
and picked it back up.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Let's okay, we're live.
Yes, we
Hello,
are.
hello, JJ. How's it going? I think this is the first time we are doing it. I think you have done more streams this year, but this is the first time I'm doing a stream with you this year. So three
Yes,
months in, first one. It's good to be back.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. So I've done a handful of streams this year. Hopefully, we'll be picking more up as the weeks go by. And then hopefully, if this is the first time you've seen the stream, as you can tell, I've been inspired and I'm trying to make the scenes to look a little bit better. And when we start doing what we're planning on doing here in a second, hopefully it'll look even better. But here, let's start first. Hey, Mofu, who are you?
So as you said, Mofi, been here before. Hopefully we'll be here for a few more times after today too. Mostly do with container stuff, OpenShift, Kubernetes, what have you. Recently been doing a lot of Kubeflow related things. So running AI workload on Kubernetes, OpenShift. But here today, trying to talk about DNS and certificate, HTTPS, Let's Encrypt on OpenShift route. We have done this kind of stream a couple of times on Kubernetes.
Mm-hmm.
Just wanted to make sure the same knowledge we can reapply on OpenShift. So hoping today is going to be a short stream, but you never know this kind of things. Sometimes it just doesn't work out as you plan it.
Absolutely. So yeah, and hi, I'm JJ. I'm a developer advocate, just like Mofi, for IBM Cloud. I do whatever my boss tells me to do, frankly. So that's always fun. But yes, so today, Mofi and I are going to play around with DNS as you said, and we can come back to this pretty often, just because things change and or it doesn't do what we expect it to. So hopefully today, uh, I was actually inspired by another YouTube video of from Red Hat, where I saw someone who had it was like application name dot os dot their last name dot dev as their DNS entry for their OpenShift cluster. So every application they did, it was like application name dot os name dot dev, which I thought was really neat because as I switch over here in a second, if you didn't know, on the IBM Cloud, we have a default free sub ingress an ingress subdomain here, but as you can see here, it is not great. It's probably the best word to use. Um,
So yeah,
so
so
yeah.
the logic behind the way this is set up is each cluster has a public subdomain, first of all. So that is going to be US south.containers.appdomain.cloud. On top of that, the first, like the long string of unrecognizable character, that is coming from the Let's Encrypt built in with your cluster. That is from 0E3 all the way to 0000. That's the name of the secret. And before that is the name of the cluster, as you can see on the top left,
Mm-hmm.
DNS tester 001. So you just add all of them together to create a new zone name on top of the US South containers app domain.cloud. That's how you get your subdomain name for your cluster. And usually when you're creating an application and when you want to create multiple of this application under the same subdomain, you'll probably add another zone on top of that, right? So you'll put another like couple of characters in front of that. Now you have a URL that is still like a secure TLS encrypted URL, but it's impossible to tell someone
Mm-hmm.
unless they copy paste it in their browser. So you have almost all of us have bought multiple domains over the
Mm-hmm.
years. I probably pay for about 15 of them. Maybe two of them are being used for something useful. Most of them are just like someday I will use them kind of a thing. But so we're trying to make sure that we making use of these domains that we have been paying for forever. And also, like again, if it's your application, you want to route your traffic through the proper domain with proper TLS certificate.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're trying to figure out today. Or redo it for OpenShift today.
Yep, exactly. And just to reiterate what Mofi said there, if you actually decide to run like an actual application, your customers are going to expect to run inside of your domain. So, and genuinely speaking, I think this is going to be relatively easy. We just have to kind of point our probably a CNAME, a star.os.cname to, I guess, the external IP. And then we'll just have to tell OpenShift through the administration console that it's no longer that. And then maybe install Cert Manager on it. Like, I don't really know.
So if we don't want TLS, right, that part I think is fairly simple. So every time you create a route or ingress in OpenShift, there is an idea of a route which is all very close to what ingress does, but it had a couple of extra features. Every time you create a route, so let's take a look at one of the route that we have already. So it will be under networking, routes, and if we just open up all projects. So, well, in here it doesn't show the actual IP address, external IP that it has. So maybe we have to do it in the terminal after all.
Okay.
So have you done the login yet? Oh, you're going to do it. Okay, yeah. So underneath it just basically created a login with your IBM Cloud ID. So right now you're logged into your cluster. You did that. Now you have logged into the cluster. Now you can do OC get route -- all namespace to get all the routes. OC, not OS.
Ah. There we go.
So you can hear, are we looking at any external IP anywhere yet?
No, they're all still just URLs.
Okay. I mean, that's fine. So you can also like just do a DNS lookup to see what this resolves to, what IP. That's going to be the external IP. I mean, we can also like do a -o YAML to. So it's most likely it's 16948. Yeah. Oh God, that's going to be a lot of text.
Yeah, and it's all just text again.
Right. So
back
maybe you can grep for the word IP.
Why can't we just take that?
Yeah, I think that should be it. I mean, I usually just use this tool called MX lookup. Like on the browser, you can just put in a. Oh yeah, you can do that too. Probably.
There we go.
Okay, so that's gonna be our like public IP for the route, and OpenShift itself. Every time a request comes in, based on the host name itself, OpenShift can route different application through that. But also you can do like OC get ingress all namespace. I don't know if we have any ingress in OpenShift, but technically OpenShift being like a wrapper on top of Kubernetes, you would have like you can technically create ingress if you want to as well. So that's like nothing stopping us from creating ingress instead of route. But again, let's start with route because we have last time we did it was in Kubernetes cluster. We did it on ingress. So if route seems to give us too much trouble, we will get to using something different. But okay, let's go back and figure out like just what application are you going to deploy today, though? Is there anything?
I was just thinking of like an Nginx pod of some sort.
Okay, so let's just start from there and let's set up a route on top first, like whatever we have, and then we can figure out how do we use a custom Nginx custom domain to point to that route.
All right, so let's create a new project, calling it Nginx Playground. Sure, let's go with that.
Sure.
All right, and then is there a sample Nginx one in here? No, of course not. That would be too easy. Do you know of a? I guess we can just do a container image.
Yeah.
Nginx Slim.
Let's just do Nginx.
Okay.
I mean, we're not trying to figure out the best practice for deploying a container image. We're just trying to The port. What port are we opening up? We want to create a route. Yeah, that's fine. Click on routing on the bottom. So target port 80 seems right. So when you click on secure route, that's what you want to actually do, but not on this case. So in this case, secure route, select secure route, and drop down on select termination type. I think we want edge or pass through. I think edge is gonna be easier.
Yeah, because
Okay.
then it terminates on at the external part of the
Mm-hmm.
server, and then we can just have port 80 sitting on
Yeah.
in the server.
And in secure traffic to redirect. So any request coming in, we want to redirect them to the HTTPS version of it.
Got it.
And for certificate, okay, here's now. Usually, when you are doing this, I think they changed it a little bit. Before, you could just point to a secret, and that would do it. Can you switch the edge to pass through? I'm just trying to remember. Direct. Okay. So by default in route, they use the public host name of the cloud that we have on top. So here we want to eventually use our own host name here. And so I don't think we want pass through. We probably want edge, but we have to, it looks like you have to manually put in the certificate here. So I'm not.
Well, how about we drop this for right now, right?
Okay.
And
We'll
then
come back
get
to
the
this.
actual application up and running. And then from there, we can try to we'll get the domain fixed. So we have like nginx.os.asgardlabs.io working.
Okay.
And then we can come and try to get a TLS on top of that. Yeah?
Sounds good. Yeah.
One step at a time, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's not good.
What happened? It couldn't pull the image?
I guess not.
Or it couldn't start it. Oh, yes. Nginx runs with
Wow.
yeah, Nginx runs with privileges because it needs to write the rules onto the thing. Now we gotta either we mess with some of the permission stuff, or we deploy something a little bit more simpler. Let's just start with something more simpler. We can deal with security later. So if you just go to catalog or samples, you can just deploy the sample node application.
Oh, there's Nginx right there.
Yeah, they have the Nginx too. So they will probably set up the permission properly. Why not? Forbidden. Okay.
So let me change the project, right?
No, I don't think the project is the issue. It's I think in OpenShift 4, like by default, you're not allowed to deploy something that requires root privileges. So let's just deploy just the node application, the simple node application they have built in, or the Go one, either or. And that would be fine. That will use universal base image and all sorts of fun stuff.
There we go. We're building it.
And once they're done, you will get a route. So build. So I think they're using source to image. So they'll just download a Git repository, build the image, push to the local registry, start the pod, and then set up the route for it. So again, this in itself is the first time you see it is extremely cool. The way S2I does its magic. And if you click on the build, JJ, Node.js sample, or like so look at the YAML there, and find the Git repository we are building from. So if you just go there, again, while the build happens, something to talk about here is that so S2I doesn't really require us to provide any Docker file. It's building it from here because it knows it's a Node.js code, and it knows how to build a Node.js Docker image. So S2I is an open source project as well, and OpenShift heavily utilizes that for their source to image builds. So we just know this is Node.js project that has a servers.js file, and we can build it based on that idea. You can build a universal base image on top of that. It's pretty cool. But again, in the meantime, I think we're pretty much close to being done. If you go back to our topology,
There we go.
here, yeah, we are done here, and at the bottom we have the route. You can click that. Hopefully, we'll get welcome to Node.js application. Da 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 da. We got it. So on top, we got a route, and the route looks like it is like the thing we talked about, right? So the first part was Node.js sample name of the application, then name of the project, then the big that was set as a zone. The rest of the things as we talked about, the subdomain associated with your cluster. So what's next? What do you want to do next?
So now we need to try to, I guess, create a CNAME pointing to this IP, right? And then we need to configure OpenShift to start using that instead of this, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
All right. So we'll go in and, because I'm lazy, we'll do it this way. And we'll manage. We'll create a CNAME.
A record. No, I think we want to add a record, right?
Are you sure?
Because we want to send our traffic to that IP, and with the host name, we'll decide where we need to send it.
Okay. So we'll do star.
Because so correct me if I'm wrong, but when you do CNAME, you are basically pointing to a different domain, not an IP.
Yes, that is correct. You are actually, yes, you are right. You are right. Okay, so we'll do that.
But if we want to do CNAME, we will have to take the host name as it is now and just do that. But we want to directly send the traffic to the IP itself.
Yeah, and because we are using a wildcard here, also now anything that we configure our OpenShift cluster to do .os.asgarlabs.io, it will point it in the correct location. Yes.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Just walking through it. Just walking through it. Okay, so I'm assuming there's something.
We're going to go changing the route. You can just click the route here or not from there.
Do we want to change it globally?
So,
no?
Yeah, but if you go back to the developer portal there.
Sure.
And click on the Node.js one on the bottom right. If you click on the name of the route, it'll take you to the same page. You don't have to do extra clicks. So here we'll have to make some changes. Yeah, we'll have to make some changes to the YAML. Drop down on the action. Let's see if we can change it a little bit more. Forms. Edit route, yeah. Oh, no, it's going to take you to this page. I think on OpenShift 3.11, they used to do this in a form, but there was probably too many things. And they didn't want to keep adding new things to the form, so they just did it this way. So you want to change the host to os.asgarlabs.io with that something in front, right?
Like that?
Yeah.
Copy. And then like this. And like that, I'm assuming?
That's a good... I think, yeah, that seems like what we're trying to change. So I think
Canonical
that's fine.
host is the external host name for a router that is used as a CNAME for the host requested route. The value is optional and may not be set in all cases.
Oh, wait, hold on. What it says, canonical host name is the external host name for the router that can be used as the CNAME for the host requested for this route. Value is optional, may not be set in all cases. Yeah, I don't think we need the canonical host name. We're sending directly to the IP. Before we do that, can you copy the route that is right now? Welcome to OpenShift, the second next tab right here. Not from here. The next tab you have open on the browser. This. Take the entire route, and let's try to do the DNS lookup look up DNS lookup on Google, or do it through the terminal. I like using DNS lookup. It gives a lot more information, much easier.
DNS lookup?
Yeah, just Yeah, just do DNS lookup. Search for DNS lookup, and oh, not this one. Just Google DNS lookup. The first tool will show up.
This one?
The MX toolbox. Yeah, that's the one. And drop this in the domain name.
Hang on. We got some. Crap. We got someone
Things
spamming.
breaking.
Yeah, we got someone spamming our channel.
Oh man, what happened? No, I think the URL you put in didn't copy the proper URL there.
Oh, yep, there we go.
Here it is. So yeah, so that's the IP we got before too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then we're good. I just wanted to confirm that is the IP set to every single external domain that we get. All right, and then we can go back. Not this, but that. Yeah, I don't think we need change the router canonical name. We need to keep it as it were. Save that. And now if we try to go to the Node.js sample Nginx playground, that one, I'm hoping that would take us to the right place. Man,
Hey!
it's taking forever to.
Nice.
There you go. Nice.
Hey, all right.
So the first time we're going there, it takes a quick second to decide to do the right thing, but it does. It does eventually take us to the right thing. So the next step is, next step, which is going to be a little bit harder, is to get the actual certificate going, right? So let's move to administrator.
Hang on. Before we do that, let's make it a global change. So if we add anything new, there's got to be some way to change it globally, right? So we don't have to edit each single time, right?
That's a good question. I don't think it. I mean, every time you do it now, when you're creating the route, you'll just set the routing. I'm pretty sure it is possible, but I don't know where to do it.
Give it a second. Let's play or poke around real quick and see if we figure it out.
Sure.
DNS.
You see,
no.
Let's look at the YAML of the DNS and what does it say?
Base domain. Here we go.
Yep. So you can just change it to os.asgardlabs.io.
Okay.
Yep. Save it. So let's just run it through the test. So go back to developer mode and deploy another sample application, like not the Node, maybe the Go one this time, and see if it sets it up from get-go. The same project is fine. I don't think we need to create a new project.
I want a clean environment. I want to play with a clean environment.
Sure.
Go.
Sure.
Create.
Yeah, let's. So it's again doing the same thing. It's building. It's doing all sorts of things. After the build is done, it'll push the image. Oh, I didn't do it, huh?
No, we missed something. You want to do some Googling while I poke around for a second?
Yeah. Open.
And also delete this while we're doing this. Administrator. Administration. Cluster settings. Global. Did it keep it? Yeah, that's there. Okay.
Okay, look at there's also ingress there as a global thing. Ingress is also there, so that also there is network. So there is also possible that the value is also look at network.
Okay, hang on.
You haven't saved it, by the way, so save it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cluster settings. You said network? Network. YAML. Come on, really?
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's Calico stuff. We didn't have to touch that. That's internal network.
Setting global scheduler, operator hub.
So we have changed the DNS and the ingress. So I don't think we have to do anything else. So let's try it again with another image. You said you didn't. It deleted that, right?
I meant to. I'll go ahead and delete it again.
Okay.
Go away. Go sample app. Off with you. Let's play with HTTP this time. Nope. Still route.
Okay.
Missing something, Mofi. What are we missing?
That is a good question.
That's the whole point of this stream, is to figure this out.
Okay. There is no setting for route, though, right? We didn't see any setting for route.
No, nothing jumped out at me. API server, authentication, console, infrastructure maybe.
Let's take a look at the infrastructure.
Etsy. No.
No, we want the etcd to be in the right place. Otherwise,
Oh, you don't want to mess with etcd? What's wrong with you?
I don't want to. Not on a Thursday. I don't mess with etcd on Thursdays.
Wednesdays.
Any other day of the week?
Yeah.
Wednesdays are okay.
Yeah.
Wednesdays are okay.
All right. I respect it. You have principles. I get it now. I get it.
Yeah.
Nothing else really is jumping out at me that would have any of this in it.
Yeah, I don't know what would I do.
Default ingress domain is under ingress.
It is possible that before we have to create a new project for this to take effect. So that's another just to know that we tried the new
all right
project. Also, instead of the sample, okay, let's try the sample. Whatever. Let's try it one more time before. And is there any settings we can mess with here?
No.
No, that's it. This is all we got. Okay, let's kick it.
Nope.
Nope. Why is it? Okay, before we start a new job, like click on add and go through catalog, like creating a new application situation. So like go to from catalog, if you just select like uncheck the operator backed, select languages, and go down to like Go, select the same thing, create application. If you scroll down a little bit, keep scrolling. Yeah. Okay, so click on routing. So public host name for the route, if not. So usually what I did was, instead of trying to set it globally, if I want to set a new host name, I can just set it here. So it would be like, well, it'll be something with zone name on top of that, right? So it's gonna be go playground, go.os. Yeah. So like we could do something like that, and then I think you have to give a name up top somewhere. And there's another field I think you have to fill. So click on try sample. Yeah, now you can create it. Just want to make sure that, I mean, technically there's nothing stopping it from working. So I'm pretty sure this is going to work. Route will be the right route.
That looks better.
I mean, again, we're manually setting it. So something is globally that value. I'm now even thinking, is it coming from some config map, like some obscure location? Because Kubernetes love to do things from under like config maps,
OpenShift domain.
This
Oh,
is, I think, different than what you're actually looking for.
oh yeah. I was gonna make me log
Because
in
this
too.
is this is trying to change the domain name
Oh,
something. So
okay.
OpenShift route base host. That's what we're trying to figure out. Route host. So I think we're looking at the same document. You'll probably end up in platform 3.92. So let's switch that to 4.6. Oh, you're in 4.6. Nope, 3.9. Um,
Oh, it sent me
and
to the welcome page. Really? Come on.
how do you get to 4.7 documentation is already out? Nice. So networking, and then
Oh, the
configuring route.
ingress operator handle three
Uh,
items.
so every time you create a route, underneath it creates the ingress for us. But we're trying to set the base host to something different. I don't know if that would be. Well, the thing I was going to actually suggest, honestly, is because OpenShift also lets us create ingress as well. If ingress resources are available, and
Mm-hmm.
all the things we learned to create external DNS and Cert Manager was with ingress. To get the Cert Manager working as fast as possible, I think we can even just like go with creating an ingress, and that would just be done, basically.
Okay. Okay. All right. So the easiest way to
So
get
it
Cert Manager running would be through probably the operator
operator,
hub.
yeah. So you have two of them. Let's just use the one that is from the built-in, this first one. It should be the same exact thing. Yeah, that's good. 15. I think Cert Manager. Oh, Cert Manager version 1 is out. This is the newer one then. Yeah, I think you want to. Oh, this is with OpenShift Marketplace. Um, that's
Thanks, guys.
um.
uh,
So again, Marketplace has a lot of a lot of this software that we can get licensing through a single location. So it's pretty valuable. But what we're trying to do, it's a huge overkill, and B, we're gonna just like get something and get rid of it right away. So licensing and all the support stuff we don't necessarily need. So it's something we can probably come back and talk about some other time. But for this one, Marketplace is a bit overkill.
well, there was an install. Well, I went to the marketplace and it wasn't available, but there was an install button. So I've gone ahead and installed, and also it is at 1.1 now.
Oh, okay,
So it
good.
actually looks like it's doing its job. There we
Good.
go.
So you're gonna get Sart Manager in every single namespace. So like whatever namespace you go to, you have a Sart Manager available to you. And once you have the Sart Manager running, the rest of the stuff is basically the same. The operator kind of hides away a lot of the complexity in terms of installing and running it from us. So Sart Manager, once you have created it,
Mm-hmm.
you just so not
Great.
on this namespace. Just go to the namespace you want to do it in. So maybe a namespace called Sart Manager, new namespace called Sart Manager, or project in terms of OpenShift. So again, when people talk about OpenShift and project, some of us will probably interchangeably use the word project and namespace, is because project is a resource that is backed by a namespace under Kubernetes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let's create a instance of Sart Manager. Yeah, that's good enough. So you have a running instance of Start Manager, and every time we create, yeah, we have a Start Manager already running. So let's click on that. I don't know if we can do something with that just yet.
Initialized and deployed.
Yeah, did you click on it?
No, now I have.
Okay. So yeah, we have a Start Manager running. So you kind of like don't have to worry about anything else right now. We can create a cluster issuer for ourselves, and we're going to use the Acme cluster issuer here.
Where is that? Oh, actions maybe?
Oh, so you have to create a resource. Like it's not, I don't think you can create this resource from here. You will have to create it manually, like with the YAML.
Oh, so we have to like find something we can. Oh, here we go. This is the configuration we need to go to.
Yeah, so I was in that page already on the side looking at it, but so we're gonna select Acme. That's the Let's Encrypt certificate.
Mm-hmm.
You could also do self-signed or any other bunch of paid ones as well if you have access to them. But we're gonna do this. So this cluster issuer right here is going to create a cluster issuer with the staging, Acme staging.
Mm-hmm.
When you're testing and doing things, that's what's recommended, because otherwise you might hit, again, Let's Encrypt is a free service. That means we should all, as a community, shouldn't abuse this and make too many certificate requests when you're just testing things out. So in OpenShift, you can even create new resources directly from the UI. You don't have to even like copy this to a file or anything, which is actually quite nice. So if we go back to OpenShift, go back to, I think you can go back to developer. And now click on, and not on Start Manager. Let's create it's a cluster issuer. It doesn't matter. It's a cluster-wide resource. You don't have to go to a project. So click on Add, and now select from YAML. So YAML right there. You just paste it here. And let's change the email address to something else. We're gonna we're gonna build it the staging one first. Yeah.
Okay. Like that?
Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, let's just create that resource. Wait, what happened? Cluster request. It doesn't know what cluster request is. That's unfortunate.
Cluster issuer. Yeah.
Yeah, cluster issuer. We installed Let's Encrypt. We installed Start Manager. Start Manager should install all the CRDs that it is supposed to come with. That's not good. Let's go back to the operator again. It did the...
Okay.
So let's go to installed operators.
Installed operators. There we go. Sorry, give me 2 seconds here.
Sure.
Okay. Cert manager. Cert manager.
Yep. Yeah. So this is the Start Manager we created, and
Yeah, it doesn't seem like.
I'm trying to look if there is any known issue about Start Manager on OpenShift.
This is bound to work, right? Like, seems ridiculous.
So we have it, yeah. We have a Cert Manager instance, it looks like. So click on Create Cert Manager on the right again. That's what we created, right?
Yeah.
Right. If you try to create it again, it should fail.
Yep.
Right, already exists. So don't want to create it again.
It is deployed. It looks like it's all there. So then we should, you're right, we should have those CRDs. We should be able to be like, okay, go do your thing.
You have the cluster connected to the terminal, right?
Yeah.
So can you do kget CRDs? I mean, OpenShift has a bunch of CRD already, but you should see some Cert Manager related CRD here too. Maybe just, where?
No. Oh, Cert
Cluster
managers.
issue right there.
Yeah.
We have cluster issue already right there.
So maybe we did it too early. You want to try it again?
Doesn't, not happy about it, but okay. Click on add, YAML. Cert Manager IO v1. It could be that the documentation. Okay, go back to the documentation one more time. Document. Can you change the version to 1.0, 1.1? I think we're on 1.1 right now. On the top right.
Oh,
No,
in
not
the
here.
docs. Sorry.
On the document. Yeah, I just want to make sure that we're not using a different. Yeah, just go to 1.0. Does anything change in terms of versioning? It is possible. Seriously?
Sorry, Mofi. You don't have a 1.0 documentation.
Nice.
1.2 though.
That's what we were in. And okay, can you go to 0.16? Any of the older documentation? I just make sure that documentation didn't change under our feet, So let's go to configuration and acme, ACME.
Let's
And
see. Oh, I mean the
yeah,
alpha
so
too.
see the version, is to be different. I think that's the one we need to do. Copy this one in. I feel like the documentation we have is
Too new.
yeah, 1.2 is too new. Yeah, the only change is the v1 alpha 2. We can actually check this. Can you do K API resources on the terminal? K API dash resources. One word, API dash resources. And maybe grep for cluster issuer. You didn't do grep. So cluster issuer, where's cluster issuer? Right here. Oh, it doesn't say what version it is. Okay, can you do how do I see the proper? Just look for k get CRD and grep for cluster issuer. Should tell us. Oh man, it's worse. Can you do dash o YAML on this? So it's gonna be too much string. Just do k get CRDs, cluster issuer, and then dash o YAML.
Oh, it's just yours. I think there's S. Nope.
So just do kget crd and can find the name. I think the name is gonna be like a long form. Okay, so yeah, you have to copy the entire name. clusterissuers.startmanager.io. Okay, so scroll up. It should tell us what version we have here somewhere, or not. So much text.
Jeez.
Have we reached that? Probably should have did a less on this. I just do a pass it through cat and or a something so that you can read it from top. Okay, okay. But this is that's Start Manager v1.1. That's what we have. V1 Beta 1. No, that's Kubernetes. That's not for Start Manager. Oh, actually, we can grep for V1 Beta 1. Or
There you go.
okay, so it should have worked with V1. For some reason, it didn't. Anyway, let's go back and try the older one and see if that works. Because it couldn't find cluster issuer before. Ah, here you go. It did it, right? Oh, it didn't.
No, I broke it.
Jeez.
Come on, JJ.
What did it break?
I didn't type in the right address or the right thing. Hang on.
Oh.
Create cluster issuer.
Wait, where did we find the create cluster issuer page from?
It just create. Where did I lose the thing? Damn it. It just created it because that's what we gave it, right? So this one was jja@ibm.com. God, why is it so slow?
Reasons.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Okay, so we have the staging one. Now, and if we create a certificate request, we can see that this would be served by our cluster issuer that we have here. So we can try creating a...
That's over. Oh, Jesus, JJ, come on. Oh, man. How do I open up?
What happened?
Son of a bitch. I accidentally closed it. Okay, so now we need to do a request.
So I think we're going to do the... yeah, we're going to have to do a request. So if you go to tutorials instead of... and then we want to do something like DNS validation. We do DNS or HTTP validation? I don't remember.
Isn't HTTP ones easier because you just have to spin it up in the thing? We don't have to deal with all that stuff.
Right. I think the DNS validation requires us to have a plugin so that we can set the proper DNS record. Right.
There we go.
Yeah, right.
That's better.
So we already have this. We already created this.
Oh,
so
yeah,
we just need the certificate request now.
The kind of certificate?
No, this is not a... We need a certificate request, not a certificate. Right? Am I crazy?
No, you're right. Oh, no,
why does everything look different?
It's when you can use it to obtain the certificate.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, let's look at. I think we're looking at usage. How do we use this? Okay, so you get the ingress, subproduction. So technically on the ingress, if we create a new ingress, we can just set up the annotation for Site Manager and it should automatically do it.
Okay.
Right, but we created a cluster issuer that is staging, so it's probably not going to work. But
well, why don't we just create the
proper issuer? Yeah, let's
yeah.
create it. Yeah.
So we'll just go back to add another YAML, paste that, and then take away staging here, take away staging here, JJ at IBM.com. Take away that staging right there. Right?
That looks right. Yes.
We need to give it a namespace though, don't we?
No, just create, instead of issuer, create a cluster issuer, then you can get rid of the namespace. Because we want this available everywhere.
So like that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay, now we have this. Now we can just create a certificate request or set up the annotations properly so that we don't have to do okay, we have the cluster issuer and the issuer kind. We don't have to do the issuer kind. Okay, let's set up a ingress for one of ours.
Okay, so we can go back to
Add a YAML directly, or just create an ingress from the administrator thing. So if you go to the administrator mode and switch our project, let's switch to the, I don't know, the Go one or the Node one in terms of project. So go to networking, ingress, then switch the project to the Go or the Node one. Go Playground. Sure, why not? Then click on create ingress. And here we will be adding, so the namespace is fine. Change the name to something more valuable, like meaningful. Yeah. And then let's change the host to the host we want to make it. So let's say tlsgo.os.
Okay.
A lot of dots, huh?
Yeah,
okay.
Right.
Then the path should be just / I think. The service name I totally forgot. We need to figure out what the service name was. So I think you can find the service name by on the terminal or on the UI. You can look it up. I would just say use the terminal. You can do OC project go dash really go playground. Okay. Okay, now say OC get service and Golang sample. That's the name of the service. And the port seems to be 8080.
Yeah.
That's what we're targeting.
Okay.
I think the service port is 80 and target port is 8080. I don't 100%.
Well, if that's true, then wouldn't it be 443? And then the target port of 8080?
That is possible. I don't.
We want it to come on 443, which is TLS, and then the target port, as we see here, is 8080, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But I think if you just do 80 but do TLS encryption, it will still do the right thing. Anyway, so let's just and then you need to add a TLS at the same level as rules. Yeah, TLS, and it's an array of hosts. So dash hosts, then colon new line. That's again another array, name of our domain. So that's going to be the same. The TLS go OS, the full thing. Okay, and then at the same level as hosts is going to be secret name. We're going to give it any secret name as we want. It's not an array item. It's part of the first array. So at the same level as host. Yep. Secret name. Secret name.
Secret.
Capital N. T, capital N, name, colon. You can just give it any name, and Let's Encrypt should create it. Yeah. And at the metadata level, let's add an annotation. No. So like under metadata, it's under metadata. And it's tabbed. It's the same. Sorry, it's the same level as name. I meant to say under metadata, same level as name. And the annotation name is it's the cert-manager.io. I will send it to you on some. Where do I send it? Hold on. Okay. It's gonna be this colon name of our cluster issuer, which I think is Let's Encrypt.
That.
No, it's a one level down. Sorry, it's gonna be a dictionary. And colon after that, colon is gonna be Let's Encrypt. I think that's what we named our cluster issuer, right?
Mm-hmm. Let's ENC. I can't spell crypt. Encrypt.
Let's Encrypt, yeah. And I think the service port should be 80, not 8443.
So like that?
Yes. Scroll down on the side. Like, hold on. I want to take a look at any of the older structure of. I think that's. What does service port actually mean? Hold on. Let me take a look.
Okay.
Okay. Explain. Change dot spec dot rules dot. So on the side, I'm actually running the kexplain, and it explains each of the part what it's supposed to do. So, oh no, I want to look at HTTP. Then looking at paths, then looking at backend. But they actually made some changes in the API version, because this is networking K8's v1 beta 1. I have v1. Actually, you have to run it on your cluster. So can you, the terminal, can you do kexplain ing.spec.rules .http .paths, HTTP, yeah, paths s.backend. Okay. What do we get back? All right, so extensions v1 beta 1, service name, service port, specifies the port. So it doesn't look like target port is anything. So port of the reference, so it should be 8080. Service port should be 8080. And I don't think we need to put in a target port.
Okay.
Okay, that's it.
Create.
Yeah, why not? So hopefully, if you go back to the terminal, we can try doing OC get cluster request. Oh, certificate request, not cluster request, certificate request. Dash all namespaces. And we didn't create any. That's not good. We didn't create a certificate. Maybe just OC get certificate. Huh. So did we have to set any other annotations? I didn't set up. And
Nothing's jumping out of me here.
yeah, I think we're missing default issuer. Trying to think about it. So we did a cluster issuer, right? Okay, and issuer group, we don't have to do that either. TLS, ACME. Field old annotation. So it will still have a route, separate route here, and we'll create a new ingress. So this is separate than what we are trying to do here.
Okay.
Yeah. Trying to set ingress default in issuer name. HTTP.
According to this, we don't have a cert manager inside this namespace.
Oh, that's, I think, that's, we shouldn't have to install cert manager for every namespace though. For entire cluster, we should have only one cert manager. Right, we have cert manager in the cluster, so I don't think we want to have a cert manager for each of the namespace that we have. I'm gonna quickly look at what we did. So cloud. So,
The cert manager is not a cluster cert manager. It's just a cert manager. Does that matter?
no, I think it still can find the cert manager in the cluster. Like if when you set the annotation, cert manager is looking for those annotations. Yeah, the only thing we had to do is the cert manager and cluster issue. Set the cluster issuer, and it would automatically, the cert manager will pick it up when you try to create that ingress. I mean, we can always manually create a certificate request ourselves.
It'd just
So
be
you
nice
can
to have that
do that.
annotation, though.
Yeah, let's just create the certificate request ourselves to see it working, and then we can. Where is it the certificate request even? Like the documentation on creating certificate request. I don't even see it. Okay, so you have this. You have the issuer. It looks like they're just creating a certificate, like they're just creating a certificate resource. So let's just do that too. Why not? We're gonna just copy the certificate here. Also, before we do that, on the terminal, look for the ingress that we created, because who knows, it might just probably is done. We didn't get an ingress address on top though, so let's try to go to it and see if it did anything. Okay, not private. Okay, it's fine. Still show. Can we still proceed? Okay, so we didn't actually. Okay, that's fine. Didn't actually get the page. So okay, let's create a certificate, and Did you paste it?
I thought I did. There we go.
Okay, so we want this just some certificate.
Oh my god. This is so slow.
The editing?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the secret name should be the whatever secret name we gave. It didn't create it because our so we just need to look at whatever the ingress in the ingress whatever secret we so if you do dash o YAML on the secret, you can see what secret name we want to generate. Yep. And it's going to issue a reference going to be let's encrypt, not let's encrypt staging.
Like that?
That looks I think we named the DNS TLS Go, not TLS.os. TLS.go. We named it TLS.go. Yes, let's try creating. Okay.
I can't spell.
Names. Are you missing an N?
Yep.
Okay then.
Issuing.
Right.
Something's happened.
We can also look for on the terminal, look for orders or challenges. That's how they prove their validity. So OC get challenges or challenge. Can you do OC get certificate? It's not ready. Can you do a describe on this?
Oh, here we go. It's doing the certificate. It's doing the certificate request now.
Okay,
It's
can you do
still
OC
issuing?
get certificate? OC get certificate request? Okay,
Still.
now do a describe on that. Because certificate request generates an order that generates a challenge once. Oh, okay. So we have to do, instead of issuer, we have to change that to cluster issuer on the resource itself. So yeah, change this YAML, click on YAML here. So change the issuer to a cluster issuer and under spec. Scroll. Right here, issuer ref. I think it should be cluster issuer ref.
Like that?
Cluster, capital I. I think the naming would be like that, yeah. Oh, so how the hell do you do cluster issuer in this situation? Cert manager certificate docs. To configure. So it has to be, sorry. So go issuer. It should be issuer ref, and the kind would be cluster issuer. So, and after name, you have to add another thing called kind. That would be cluster issuer, capital C and capital I.
That.
Yeah, save it. Here we go. Okay, I don't know if it automatically started new things, but
os.asgraph.io does not exist in.
I think the common name should be the entire thing. Just give the.
Like that?
You have a TLS underscore. Is it TLS dot? The video looks a little bit blurry on my end. So
it's a dot. Yeah.
Okay, all right, let's try it. Okay. This is. Can you do OC get certificate first? Okay. I think we should delete and redo this. You have to give it a name. -- all maybe. Oh, we should have. This should go away. This is no longer here. But we can just copy the certificate another time and.
Wait, save this? Nope, there it is.
Well, let's just create certificate and just paste in first time where we got it, but this time we just need to add the issuer ref and a kind to it. I don't know why the editing gets so slow here. Maybe because you are running OBS, getting some video stream coming in as well as streaming out. And for the let's encrypt, but you also have to add a kind, which is going to be capital C cluster, capital I issuer.
Okay, common name of tos.go.os.asgarlabs.io.
Mm-hmm. You got an extra Y, it seems like.
Like that?
Seems like it. Let's. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's go back and take kind of like look at the cluster certificate request and what's happening.
Create the secret.
Very nice. Now it created order. Now we can look at the order.
Pending.
If we describe the order, order will create a challenge.
Yep.
Now you can look at the challenge.
Okay.
Challenge sketch. I think we're done. Now, if we do OC get certificate, we should see a ready certificate. Oh, it's not ready yet. Okay, what happened? So let's do OC get orders and challenge, because
Issuing
once
certificate as secret does not
this
exist.
is fine. This is not a problem. This is basically creating the certificate secret from scratch because it doesn't exist. So when we're done, the orders and challenge resources will be gone, and it will be set to ready. So OC get challenge.
Pending.
So it's still pending. It's not done.
This has
Didn't
been
fail either.
This has been kind of painful, Mofi.
Yeah. I mean, isn't all DNS is just pain?
Yeah, that's true. That is true. All right, well, I have a hard stop at the top of the hour. It seems I've been pinged by a couple people. Let me go ahead and bring this back so we're just talking. I'll keep an eye on this, but maybe...
Yeah, I mean, so I think the automation stuff that is supposed to happen every time, I think we're missing one annotation somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
It could be also the version we're installing using the operator could have some issues. So one thing we could try is like come back again, but this time I'll test it out beforehand to see which combination of all of this works, because there is like a lot of combination. But again, the good thing is once you kind of go through the pain of figuring it out once, for the most part, you don't have to touch it again. It just works. So that's kind of like the silver lining of all this. So you have to struggle a little bit, but once you have done it, it just works. For example, the cluster we have for Kubernetes admin, we haven't touched it in like almost 8 months now. It's just like it automatically updates all the certificate all the time. So
my goal is that I want to like, I've been through this many times in many different iterations, and it always comes down to something trips me up. But I want a video of this actually working, and I want to write a blog post or some notes or something, so when I do see this, I can read through it and be like, okay, this is what I did this time. This is what actually worked. Because every single time I've done this, there's always been something different, and it's very frustrating. But to your point,
yeah, I mean, again, the difficulty here is too that there's a lot of moving parts in this, right? And all of them are actively being developed. So by the time you kind of get your formula down for one kosher way of doing this, there's 3 of the 8 different component here has updated to something different. Things get deprecated. So yeah, it's one of those things.
well, anyway, okay, well, thanks for taking the time to watch us while we're doing this. I'll have this back up on YouTube here in a bit, so if you just joined us at the end, you can see where we started with. And then we'll be back in the near future. Say bye, Mofi.
Bye, Mofi.